Good morning. My name is Howard Schechter. I'm proprietor of The Perfect Edge. And today we're going to talk about lapping. This is a topic which has really confused a lot of people and about which there is a lot of information and misinformation out about. And I started lapping when I was working in machine shops many years ago. And it's a precision process for flattening things. You can lap round things too, but this is going to be about flat things. And the reason we lap is so that we can eliminate the variable of different thicknesses along an edge or along a piece of metal. And that becomes very important in industry when we're making things that need to be finished to a customer's specifications. So typically in a precision lapping situation, what you would need is the ability to get something flat to 0.00001 plus or minus 0.0002. And that's the way the specifications are written. And the flatter something has to be, the more expensive it's going to be and the more precision the lapping services have to be. And this is a lapping plate, and they were kept in a special place in machine shops, and not everybody was able to use them. Lapping is a skill. Some are suited for and some are not suited for. But they are kept in a wooden case, and we'll take off the cover, and you'll see that we have a metal plate here. It's very heavy because you don't want things like temperature to change the dimensions of the steel. You can see I don't use this side very much, but this side is pretty good. And this is another style of lapping plate. There were many styles. And you can see how they cast this so that it would not deform. And that's very important. In lapping situations, often a machine shop will have the lapping operation done in a climate-controlled, temperature-controlled environment so that if there is any variation, it can be traced back to when it was lapped and what exactly was going on. Because these things are checked by a person called a metrologist, and I've had them here at my bench, and what they have to say is very, very enlightening about lapping. What I do for the most part is I lap whetstones. And I lap whetstones so that we don't get curves in the whetstone, which translate to curves in the blade. And that's when that happens, that's very bad. And I use a precision tool. It's a type of height gauge. And I can measure, for instance, on this very dished whetstone, exactly how dished it is and how much would have to be taken off if I were to use this as a whetstone in my shop. This one was really dished, and I saved it because it's a great example. But no, I would not actually use this for anything. So the idea is to get the whetstone flat. And we get the whetstone flat by lapping it. So this is the traditional type of lapping plate. They were used, interestingly enough, with kerosene and some abrasive. Oftentimes it was emery, sometimes later on it was silicon carbide, and they would sprinkle it on the lapping plate with the kerosene, and then they would lap. You got to be careful with these. You got to lap on the whole surface so you don't wear a hole. These things are measured and they have to be flat. Emery just is still widely available. There's mines in Naxos on Greece where they still have deposits of it. I'm in Shrewsbury, Massachusetts, and Worcester next door was founded on an emery deposit. And it's a wind-blown type of abrasive that collects in deposits, and that happened towards the end of the last ice age. And the emery was used, and I have seen sharpening devices in the Newport Mansion kitchens in Newport, Rhode Island, and they still had that emery in the sharpening device. So that was how it was done classically. Now today we do things a bit differently, and lapping has become more available to the public and easier to do. So this here is a DMT DiaSharp, and this one reads 95 micron, 160 grit. When you get this, it comes with a piece of paper which has the readouts on various points of the stone so that you know how flat it is. Any that aren't flat get tossed aside, and these are extremely flat. They get coated with an electrolyte and then vacuum deposited diamonds, and then electrical process to plate those diamonds from the surface of the steel on up. And that's how they make these DMT stones. Really brilliant engineering, another product of right here in New England. Many of you are familiar with the Sharpening company, and this is the Sharpening lapping plate. It's a precision lapping plate. It's great. I've been using this one for probably 12, 15 years, and I use it every day to flatten my whetstones. This is really important if you're sharpening precision objects like straight razors or microtomes. And it's fairly costly. It's a $350 stone, but if you're seeking precision, that's what it costs. Now, American competition and technology being what it is, this stone is the DMT diaflat lapping plate, and it's about $190, depends where you buy it. And it's as flat as you need it to be for something like straight razors or stones that are used for microtomes or whatever it is. Another one that is an interesting one, came from the Sharpening company, and this was an early one. I'm not sure they even sell these anymore, but if you ever see one, pick it up because it's a really beautiful stone. And it comes in this nice rubber non-slip, and you can see the casting, the rubber feet, and it's a really great stone. You would use this with some kind of abrasive and kerosene or something like that. There are other things you might see out in the world. This was Veritas, and I'm still not sure what they use this for, but I saw it at a yard sale and I couldn't pass it up. And it's pretty flat. I measured it. So that is the skinny on lapping. Now, you have to lap when you're doing this, if not in a climate-controlled, temperature-controlled atmosphere, on a solid surface. I've seen videos that guys have sent in, and the whole table is shaking so much that the water can fell off, and that's not lapping. Everything has to be controlled. You can't have movement in your bench. And you can see my bench is a 100-pound granite surface plate that is flat to a precision level. And I got this out of a quality control lab, out of a factory I was taking apart. So If you're going to do lapping, keep it steady, keep it flat, use the whole lapping plate, and use oil or water, whatever you like. Water is what I use for water stones, oil for oil stones, or metal that I'm flattening. And away you'll go. And you'll be able to eliminate that whole variable of a stone that is not flat. And that's death to precision sharpening. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, give me a call. Be happy to talk about this to you. And you can catch the video on my website, theperfectedge.com, or on the Facebook page, The Perfect Edge. Thank you very much.